In the headlines, presidential flag bearer of New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, picks Bishop Isaac Idahosa as running mate for the 2023 election. Court dismisses suit seeking disqualification of Oyetola as Osun APC governorship candidate. Nigerian pilgrims' return flights begin Friday. Away from Nigeria, Sri Lanka president lands in Singapore as wait for resignation continues. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Beginning with political stories, presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, has picked Bishop Isaac Idahosa as his running mate for the 2023 general elections. The party announced the nomination on its official Twitter page on Thursday, barely 24 hours to the expiration date for the substitution of nominations. Bishop Isaac Idahosa from Edo State is the senior pastor of God First Ministry, also known as Illumination Assembly, with its headquarters at Lekki Light Center, Aja, Lagos. Idahosa was born in Minna, Niger State, where he and his siblings grew up. He had his formal education there and enjoyed scholarship up to the university level in Niger State. The national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, has defended the decision of the party's presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu, to settle for Senator Kashim Shettima as his running mate for the coming 2023 general elections. The chairman answered some questions from State House reporters after leading members of the party's National Working Committee on a courtesy visit to President Muhammadu Buhari in his country home in Daura. Adamu said that the party had to agree on the strategic decision because of the reality of politics in Nigeria, stressing that nobody was out to promote Christian or Muslim ticket. He said Nigerians should not look at the ticket from a religious perspective, but rather from what the candidate can offer the nation.
God doesn't do anything in vain. God must have reason for having two of us, or two major persuasions, religious persuasions, to be in this country. And each of these groups have got people who have reason to believe they have a stake also. We've had time when Christians led this country. We've had time when Muslims not in the country. We can't deny that fact. We can't have what we want at a point in time, all of us, agreeing to one thing. The fact of the matter is, we appreciate that the Christians are interested in it, no doubt about it. But the fact of the matter is, we're as practical as we can in this situation, and we do hope that people will see reason. Nobody is wanting to promote Christianity or Muslim ticket necessarily, but we have to face the reality of our politics in the country. And that's what exactly we're doing.
Deputy Governor of Oyo State, Rauf Olaniyan, is to appeal an Oyo State High Court judgment which refused to halt impeachment proceedings against him by the State House of Assembly. Justice Ladira Akintola of an Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan ruled on Thursday that the House Assembly had not breached any provisions of the Constitution pertaining to the removal of a governor or deputy governor, but the deputy governor has resolved to appeal the verdict delivered by the lower court. Counsel to the deputy governor, Afolabi Fashanu, confirmed that he had filed applications for notice of appeal and stay of execution of the judgment. The Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit seeking the disqualification of Osun State Governor Adeboyega Oyetola as the All Progressives Congress candidate for the July 16 governorship election scheduled to hold in the state. Delivering judgment, Justice Inyang Eko stated that the plaintiff, Moshood Adioti, failed to support the process with relevant laws and as such showed no cause of action in the suit. Justice Eko added that the suit instituted falls outside the scope of Section 87, subsection 9 of the Electoral Act and Section 22 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Adioti, who was one of the aspirants in the February 19 APC governorship primary, for the state candidacy wanted the court to disqualify Oyetola on the grounds that the governor contested in the poll as a member of the party's caretaker extraordinary and convention planning committee. Now, ahead of the Saturday governorship election in Osun State, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has trained journalists in the state on election coverage and reportage. Hamid Oegbade reports that journalists drawn from various media organizations attended the training in Osogbo, the state capital. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, appealed to journalists to familiarize themselves with the electoral law and the innovations introduced by INEC. He appealed to journalists not to announce a winner until the Commission declares one, to avoid misleading the public and causing electoral violence when such announcement is different from what was reported before the official results.
Constitutional and legal issues involved in the conduct of a governorship election. Not only that, we also expect the journalists to be abreast of the new technological innovations that have been put in place by the Commission that will also be at play during this particular election. For instance, the Electoral Act 2022 will be at play in this election, and this is the second election that the Electoral Act 2022 will be used. We're also going to deploy the BVAS for this particular election, and we're also going to deploy the IREV for this particular election. So the journalists must know the configuration of some of these things, know some of the timelines embedded in our laws for the conduct of every aspect of the election, and also be abreast and have an elementary knowledge of the constitutive legal instruments for this particular election, and also the new technological innovations for this particular election.
And away from that, President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday in Daura, Katsina State, participated in the first phase of the Census 2023 with the trial house listing and a house numbering, which takes off officially in selected local government areas of the country. The National Population Commission accredited the president at his home country home to mark the commencement of the exercise. President Buhari, who blessed the exercise, urged officials to justify their confidence of the government by returning accurate, verifiable and dependable data. President Buhari told the NPC team led by the chairman, Nasir Kwara, that he was impressed with the exercise. The senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, in a statement said after the digital capturing, the chairman explained the modalities and technicalities of the population and housing census to the president.
Carrying out the census preparatory activities, the president graciously approved the conduct of census, National Population Housing Census, in April 2023, and part of the preparatory activities is the enumeration identification, which we have done. We have also done first and second census pretest. What we are doing now is the trial census, which is the dress rehearsal, and it is ongoing throughout the country. Here in the northwestern geopolitical zone, we have chosen Katsina State to do full-blown local government census, and in Katsina State we have chosen Daura, which is a border local government with Niger. Then it is also has a rural setting and has also an urban setting.
The National Emergency Management Agency in Lagos said 7 people have been killed and 8 others saved after 2 days torrential rainfall that caused a flood on the 8th and 9th July 2022 in Lagos. 3 out of the 7 that died were siblings who were staying at an uncompleted building belonging to a church at Alimosho local government area of Lagos State. The siblings, Michael, 18, Elizabeth, 17, and Timmy, 14, were reportedly said to have been swept away while trying to relocate from their room to the main church structure. Meanwhile, the Alimosho community leaders also informed NEMA that in the same community, 4 siblings of same parents were also swept away on the same day, but the community members were able to rescue them. The community then called on the agency to embark on a sensitization and awareness campaign in the area on how to avert such occurrences in the future. In another follow-up story on Orile Agege flood, 4 were rescued and 2 people lost their lives in the flood. Jigawa State Emergency Management Agency has confirmed 6 persons were killed and 65 others wounded by the windstorm in Kafing Hausa local government area of the state. The executive secretary of the agency, Yusuf Sani, said that the windstorm on Tuesday wreaked havoc on the affected community and destroyed many houses, adding that the agency was conducting a damage assessment to ascertain the extent of the destruction. He said that the displaced persons took refuge with their relatives in the area, pending when a temporary shelter will be provided for them by the agency. Also commenting, the information officer in charge of the area, Muhammad Umar, said that the chairman of the council, Alhaji Muhammad Saminu, had visited the victims on admission at General Hospital, Kafing Hausa. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break, how menial workers earn livelihood in Abuja. Details and more shortly.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Here is a reminder of our top stories. Presidential flag bearer of New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, picks Bishop Isaac Idahosa as running mate for the 2023 election. Court dismisses suit seeking disqualification of Oyetola as Osun APC governorship candidate. Now, in other news, Nigerian pilgrims will start returning home from Friday after the completion of the 2022 Hajj exercise. The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Alhaji Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, disclosed this during this year's post-Arafat meeting with stakeholders held in Mecca, Saudi Arabia on Wednesday. Hassan assured that the homeward airlifting will be first in, first out, noting that lessons have been learned from this year's Hajj that will aid the Commission's better performance in the next exercise. Meanwhile, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Senator Adamu Bulkachua, congratulated all the pilgrims that performed the 2022 Hajj, praying Allah to accept it as an act of worship and a much more successful Hajj. Also, the Chairman of the House Committee on Pilgrimage, Abubakar Nalaraba, assured that his committee will continue to work closely with the Commission for improved and successful Hajj operations. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu has called for support in immediate passage of the National Water Resources Bill into law. The minister made the call in an exclusive interview with Trust TV. The minister explained that the bill is not targeted at grabbing the land and waterways of states. He said rather it will give direction for effective water resources development and management in the country.
All what we've been doing is to put them together into one book instead of 4 separate laws. That is one. Number 2 is to strengthen the concept of integrated water resources management so that we can manage our water resources in a sustainable manner. By this, it means making sure that there's a balance. Like I keep saying, some people have been misleading Nigerians. They've been misinforming Nigerians, and they don't want to lose face, to be seen to be the fraud that they are, and they want to continue to hammer on this water bill and also to hammer on, to continue to divide this country, and they have found a weapon to use. And this is unfortunate, this is unpatriotic, and this is unsavory, and I think they should stop it. But any patriot in Nigeria, anybody that is objective, if you have an objective mind, please go and read the Water Resources Bill and see where, in any case, it has favored any community or what.
It should be recalled that the bill, which targeted controversy in the National Assembly between 2017 and 2020, has now been reintroduced to the National Assembly. Now, the need for access to services that prevent mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS has again been stressed. According to experts, these services are mostly needed among some pregnant women in the country who find it difficult accessing PMTCT care in communities. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
Reduction of the prevalence rate of HIV in target population of children less than 15 years and pregnant mothers, especially in Taraba State, is the basis for the dissemination of findings on the HIV identification, prevention and treatment upskill among many approaches that help bridge the gap of eradication of the spread of HIV.
As a country, we are on course to making really good progress towards epidemic control by next year, God willing. However, pediatric ARV, we continue to lag behind there. I think to a large extent, the reason for that lag is reflective of the weakness in our health system, which means that a number of our women don't deliver in facility. And so because they don't deliver in facility, therefore implies that they will not be at a point where we could actually sort of scale up our case finding.
If you look at the cohort of the, let me say, the group of people they're looking at children and adolescents, and they're looking at children and adolescents, trying to test them to find those who are living with HIV so that they can put them on treatment. And those are the cohorts that UNICEF looks at.
A science approach to implementation involving the use of existing community structures are among steps aimed at eradicating the spread of HIV, specifically in children, through positively tested pregnant mothers.
First, we were able to identify village health workers, traditional birth attendants, and proprietary patent medicine vendors. Those are pharmaceutical shops at the local government level. Because we notice people patronize them more than even the conventional hospital. So we train them on how they can refer these pregnant women and then the children for HIV testing services.
HIV prevalence in Nigeria is quite low compared to other African countries. In Nigeria, we are currently at 0.2%. So now you have this 0.2 in a large population of children. That means you need to test so many children before you are able to harvest those who are positive.
The project, which commenced in 2019, has recorded positive partnership with national and state actors, including the National AIDS and STIs Control Program, National Agency for Control of AIDS, and the Taraba State Government to facilitate deliverables in line with set objectives and performance indicators. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Abuja is one of the fastest growing cities in the world, attracting hundreds of menial workers who struggle to earn a living. Kabir Lawal speaks to a cross-section of youths in the city on how they struggle to make ends meet.
Menial workers are often classified as low-income earners in the society because of the nature of the job. However, youths do not picture themselves handling such jobs. But lack of employment in the country has forced these youths to be engaged in such manual jobs. Some youths revealed to Trust TV correspondent that before these at times, things were better. But going by the high cost of living and difficulties in getting jobs made them to take on anything that can put food on the table.
Like we now here that we not have enough cash to buy some instrument. So we have to come and look for small things because the country now come like so let's get me now like this. My mother don't call me now and say I send 2,000 for her. So you small 10,000 I don't gather now I send 2,000 for her like this. You see? Family now me be first born but still on still. So if you go, man, make person help you, man, make you open shop for you. Okay, bros, I do so well, fashion designer. If I sew for you.
They called on well-meaning Nigerians and the government to come up with programs and projects that should change the current and ugly narrative.
Politicians, they don't want to give us work, we could do. They say go work. We find school go, they don't give us school. The education, man, we thank God, we try, we read, we write, we defend ourselves for some kind of places. And the small power we get, don't be say we get job rich like the way we work. But we see they appreciate, they don't say that's stealing. Now we will not want.
Some of them even showed off their musical skills.
Life na jeje, everything na turn by turn. If your turn rich, bros go blow. If your turn rich, bros go hammer. I don't think I one day then go lie on me.
Observers believe young people are in their need of change that can give them opportunity to be part of meaningful development in the country and beyond.
It is of paramount importance that in life, no talent is wasted. This is what they do here, and they sing, dance with joy to make ends meet and put food on the table for themselves. In Abuja, Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News.
We will now take a quick break. The news update continues shortly. Please stay with us.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Now, away from Nigeria, Sri Lanka President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has arrived Singapore on a flight from the Maldives, where he had fled after mass protests over his rule. Singapore's government said he had been allowed entry on a private visit. It is not clear if Rajapaksa will stay or move to another destination. He pledged to resign by Wednesday amid public anger over the island's economic crisis, but has failed to do so yet. The cost of food, fuel, and other basic supplies have soared for Sri Lankans. At least 31 people, including children, are now known to have been killed in the last week during renewed fighting in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The UN says intense clashes between the Congolese army and several rebel groups have spread to the Beni territory, where 5 bodies were recovered on Wednesday. Locals said that the death toll might even be higher as dozens of people are still missing. More than 700,000 people have fled their homes in Ituri and North Kivu provinces since the beginning of this year alone, bringing to 6 million the total number of people displaced by the armed conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Russian missiles have struck the central city of Vinnytsia, killing at least 20 people, including 3 children, Ukrainian officials say. 90 more were reported wounded in the attack to the southwest of the capital, Kyiv, and far from any front lines in the conflict. 3 Russian missiles hit an office block and damaged residential buildings, while Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called it an open act of terrorism. The Russian Defense Ministry, which denies targeting civilians, has yet to comment on the strike. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms. Don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more as well. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.